Hello, everybody. Welcome
Hello.
to more Spy Party competitively casts. I have Slampy Davis and Nanthalus here to walk us through these Challenger quarterfinal games.
Hello.
Hello.
We got two of them here. Some pretty intense looking ones. We've got the number one seed Turnipboy still in it, going against Ryooo, who's been kind of tearing it up in the SCL here and in the Summer Cup. I guess same goes to be said for all of them, right? Are they all in the Summer Cup?
At least three of them. I was actually looking that
Yeah.
up right as we were talking about it. I know Turnipboy, Ryooo.
I believe all four of them.
Yeah, it looks like that. Cool.
Yeah. So I mean, clearly they're pretty darn good. That's for sure. Yeah. Are they all? They're all still in it too. Yeah.
Good and busy. Jeez.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
I can't.
they
I
got
can't
right
do
at
that.
it.
I'm like I got one tournament at a time is my max. And then I need like a 1 year break in between. I like
Yeah,
the
the
SCL
1 year
so much.
break is kind of a necessary thing. It's partly organizational, but I think there's this
Yeah.
general consensus of, yeah, let's take a year off from this.
Yep. Or at least half a year.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, we'll get into it now. The first one we'll go start off with Turnipboy and Ryu or Rio.
I think it's Rio.
Rio. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I think it's Rio too, but I'm gonna keep saying Ryu. Yeah, but anyway, but
Nice.
yeah,
I like
it's,
This
conversation
is one
every
of the
time.
names we had the heated discussion in Discord
yeah,
about.
yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Rio.
All right, we'll
All right.
do our
Anyway,
best.
yeah. Oops. Oh, that's why that happened. Oh,
Or
get
are
this to work
yo?
properly. And also stop the stream because I don't need that up. That should work. All right, and so let's look at picks and bans first. Turnipboy is the number one seed, so he was able to select Spy first and pick ban second, which that's sensible.
Mm-hmm.
And his first ban. Oh wait, Ryu's first ban because he his balcony. Makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, people don't like balcony.
Yeah, there's people that are not good at balconies, so it makes sense to ban it, especially when you're playing a variant that has you know, where a good chunk of the maps are picked, like so if there's a map you really don't like, definitely
Yeah,
Also,
and go ahead.
I was just gonna say, remind me of what the format is for the picks and bans.
it's
I'm
the same.
guessing
It's
it's
the
the
same as for the finals. Basically, um, it's the same as normal season except one extra pick.
gotcha. So it's the ban, double map, map.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
But so that I mean that ends up picking most of the maps. There's usually like what 1 or 2 maps that won't get seen besides the bans.
Yeah, I think there's 10 new art maps, so that means 2 would be left out.
Yep.
So
Or
we're
2.
seeing most of the venues
Yep.
in the pick phase.
Yep. Anyway, the next band. This is an interesting one from Turnipboy. Ballroom.
Interesting, and that's
Yeah, there's
it's
not too
interesting.
many.
Is that
Yeah, not too many
the
people are like against ballroom.
right? And one of the things that changes when you extend the picks another round is that you might decide to ban based upon what you don't like rather than what your opponent likes, because you're almost certainly going to get to the maps you don't like. So it's more important to kind of guard against it. Now, banning ballroom and balcony, two of the more standard maps, means we're going to get into some sort of odd maps in the last two picks, where there's going to be, and I've been in this situation before, where especially like the very very last pick, where you pick one of three maps and they're all bad or you all don't like them. It's kind of like a weird
Yeah,
situation to be in.
we'll be seeing some of those. It seems. Anyway, the first pick, actually a very been a very popular map all season. Library.
Challengers like library a lot.
Yeah,
It's been like a theme throughout this entire division, but
yeah,
I think it's the map that they've kind of jumped on the most as one that they like to play both sniper and spy side. So I think both players are going to be comfortable here on double library.
yeah. And the next pick, this is actually kind of interesting one for being doubled. I don't see this being doubled too often. Pub.
Hmm.
Interesting. And you're right, where library also has not only shown up a lot, but it's been the doubled map a whole
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. I've definitely doubled it a number of times.
Right, where pub has usually appeared when picks when there's a little bit smaller of a
Yeah,
people don't seem to really love pub. There's not that
yeah,
many pub specific players, especially now with modern, where if people really love the delegate functionality, they've tended to go for
yeah,
modern over pub.
yeah. I tend to see pub as like a rougher version of courtyard, essentially. I mean,
Hmm.
I
it's
think
courtyard, but everything's visible.
yeah, I think pub has a bit more potential for like frame opportunities and
Yeah,
stuff spy side, but I I feel like you have to be a bit smarter, and pub gives you the opportunity to be a bit smarter about your spy play.
yeah, for sure. All right, the next pick, pick I very much like to see, gallery. I
Um,
hope we see a small man pick.
yeah, some shenanigans can happen here.
Yes, so much.
Gallery is also interesting because Gallery for a long time wasn't really popular among vets, and it's
Yeah,
also not that popular among Challenger. It's equally kind of popular among both, where there doesn't seem to be one group that really loves the map, but
I've
there's a
always loved it.
subset of both that like it, like
Yep,
you, for example.
yep. I very
There's
much
a there's
like it.
Mhm.
I've always liked it, even altered
Right,
gallery.
exactly. So there's this like niche that really likes
Yep.
it, and it's actually one of the I think it's like it's up there with balcony as far as like there's a specific niche of people that really
Hmm.
like the map.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. All right. Anyway, the next pick from Turnipboy, Modern.
Hmm.
This map seems to have gotten more popular as the season uh went on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also snipers have gotten a little bit more comfortable on the map,
Yeah,
to be totally
yeah. It's
honest. Like
pretty
at
overwhelming
first,
at
people were
first.
banning. Yeah, at first snipers didn't know what to do, but then there's just so much that the spy has to do in that small amount of time where
Yeah, and
it's
yeah,
been interesting. It's different. I like it a lot. I think we're all looking forward to
yeah,
possibly some more time on the
yeah,
map. But
yeah. We'll see. Yeah, that's probably gonna be necessary because yeah, it's like we've seen in so many timeouts that like sniper could just go get a take a bathroom break during this map and
right
probably win.
I was waiting for the soapbox there, Slappy Davis, but I didn't hear it from you. Every
about
map
every
needs 15 or 30 more seconds spy side.
We'll get to the soapbox. Like there's there's many things on the soapbox that I can talk to. Maybe oh no, balcony was banned. I was gonna say during one of the boring maps, I'll talk about that. And the 15-30 seconds on every single map, more guests on basically every map. We need to tighten in sniper vision on just all the time. Fixed aspect ratio on sniper, so you
All
can't
right, next
do.
ban.
All right. Anyway, well, no, it's picks actually, and
Oh,
the next one, the last one from Ryu, is high rise or Ryo.
high rise, interesting.
Yeah, that is an interesting one.
Um, I especially after banning balcony,
Yeah,
that's kind of an indication that
yeah,
you're not as comfortable with sniping a Softel game. But like we said, when you get into these
yeah,
last few picks, there just aren't that many
yeah.
options anymore.
You're essentially you're picking the like basically it's between that if it's between that and terrace, I feel like most people would probably go for high rise.
Yeah, you're looking at like high rise terrace veranda, and you're just, ugh.
Yep.
You gotta pick one of them.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, and you can be pretty sure what map the last person picked. Obviously, courtyard.
Ah, yeah. Can never have a set of competitive spy party without it.
I mean, you can, but you'd be a kind of a monster.
I'm pretty sure it's a bylaw by now, but
Yeah, I mean, it should be. That's for sure. I mean, it should just automatically be in there
mhm.
and be unbannable. All right. Anyway, we'll get onto the match now. Let's bring it up so I can actually see it.
We actually didn't get into too crazy of maps at the end there. I wasn't sure if
Yeah,
so.
no.
So let's see. What was Turnipboy looking at when he was doing courtyard? He was looking at terrace, courtyard, and
Veranda.
Yeah.
And yeah, veranda's been unpopular. I remember from the data, which is interesting.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, we got Turnipboy as the first spy, as was his choice. So we'll see. We'll see what that does. If you get that first spy win, it feels pretty good, and you can just kind of relax afterwards. We'll see how this goes. Both ready?
Yep.
All right. Counting it down in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
So
Looks like we're bouncing down for a flirt.
Yep. Coming into this match, Turnipboy is, of course, the top seed because he barely missed the auto promotion from Challenger. Ryooo was actually a relatively low seed, I believe 25 or something like that, because he joined SCL late, but still a very solid player. So this promises to be a pretty good match between the two of them.
It looks like we're trying to light books or something. We get accidentally low light for a moment there. Turnipboy goes for a bit of a risky time to do the transfer, but gets a green test. And right now we have microfilm in hand, and we're kind of committed now to later on doing another microfilm, which is always nervous. Like one of the things that I hate about doing the action test microfilm is after you get away with the first part, you still have to do another one to do microfilm at all. There's no way to do microfilm the rest of the game, not even direct book transfer, without doing another test.
Yep. It definitely locks you in a sense, and you're kind of committing to at least doing one more pretty obvious hardtail animation.
Right. The other thing about it is you generally want to do it without a highlight. So right now we're in the position where we're not highlight yet. We have the microfilm in hand, but we probably want to do the other microfilm before we go to statues, for example, because it's as hard as it
Yeah.
might be to do another one. It's gonna be worse if you're highlight. It's a bit of an awkward spot to be in, where you want to go to the bookcase again, and then you might raise suspicion for visiting two different bookcases, kind of relatively back to back. But if we can get away with it, that would be a fantastic place because then we don't have to do the direct transfer at all.
Yeah, and that's a hardtail coming off without leaving a trace.
Right.
Which can sometimes be a bad thing if you're trying to get someone else shot, but if you're trying to finish missions like it looks like Turnipboy is doing, then it's pretty good.
And it looks like we are going to try to. And the book is marked, so this is probably good for us because it means that right now we're committing to hard transfer. And
Green.
yeah, we get away with it. Well, I wonder if Turnipboy actually knows that Ryooo tends to only defend versus direct transfers.
Maybe he does. The Amba was also way on the other side of the map with a couple of statue highlights near him, so I think Ryooo was trying to guard that. The test was green as well, so either way it's going to be quite difficult to catch, especially since we are hair.
Right.
And yeah, center statues here picking up the highlight, but we've already finished both transfer microfilm animations, so it won't hurt us too badly.
Right, like we like to talk about with like sequencing. This was well done, where Turnipboy very specifically didn't go to statues before the animations. So I think that Turnipboy either knows that Ryooo tends to like to look for direct transfers, or just noticed that the Ryooo was coloring books when they were at yellow, and then read the situation well, where a lot of snipers when they color books they just don't pay attention to microfilm after that. They just write it off in their head because it's like, all right, I see the color of the book, they're defending against it. And we get a green purloin as well after getting the banana bread. So if this comes off and we don't die, we only need one flare.
And General's just going to instantly die for it anyway.
I guess Ryooo doesn't have a good sense of the speeds of the fades, or he just looked like he just sort of looked. He had just looked away, looked back, like.
Yeah. Purloin fades are always tough.
Yeah.
Could be that he just didn't see a reject as well.
Banana bread.
Yeah. Just seems weird to instantly shoot for that, especially someone who, is not a suspect yet and has not been to statues or anything.
Yeah, I'm guessing that during the look away, look back, they mistimed the fade. that was pretty much it. That they were pretty confident that it wasn't, because otherwise, you're right. There wasn't that much pressure to shoot anybody.
Well, I mean, it could have been the final mission. I mean, it was the final mission for Turnipboy, besides one more flirt that he
Yeah.
was looking to get at Windows. So
Yeah, but I mean, but you just gotta gotta think about what
yeah,
General was doing this whole time.
could General have been done?
Yeah.
That's the question Ryooo needs to
Right.
ask
We're
himself.
talking about in general,
Yep.
not specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, generally. Anyway.
All right.
All right. Anyway,
that's
on to the
the
next one. We got
spy
some Seek plays coming up here. Ready to go in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
This pun game we're gonna be doing for the people is gonna get harder when we don't actually have like teal and pencil.
Yeah.
But committed.
Starting off with the side statues. Gonna get an early highlight probably, but I like, being willing to mix it up with your spy play, not always wait until halfway through the game to start statues. And we actually get a pending green swap on the side statue as well.
Yeah, and well, now I kind of want to talk about the green swap, but I was also going to kind of ask in general, how do you feel about when you're a sniper, if somebody's been highlight for a long time, are you more suspicious or less suspicious of them? Like, if I get used to someone being highlight, I kind of, unless something else has occurred, they're less suspicious to me because I'm comfortable with them being a highlight. You're like, yeah, you're like an old highlight that I remember from way back when. I'm not really that concerned about you.
Yeah, I mean, of course it depends what they're doing while they're highlight, and I would say that you're going to tend to notice what your highlights are doing more than your neutralites.
Mhm.
And it looks like Turnipboy might have seen the swap right here. Smallman was the one who swapped it, which is not an inconsequential fact.
Right. Especially if Smallman lines up in like a bug spot along the inner. Right now, not so much, but Ryooo looks like they're being very conscious of where Smallman is. So I'm guessing this might be a game where we slowly try to complete missions, but we're also trying to bear in mind keeping a frame possibility open.
Yeah. Even though we finished Flirt quite quickly, it's not going to be a rush by any stretch of the imagination. I thought we had missed a statue pad for a second there, but we're just grabbing a briefcase.
Yeah, so did I. And I thought I was like, all right, he's just playing it cool.
Difficult fingerprint.
He does not seem to have gone for the
Even
action.
try
test.
for it.
All right. I thought that was part of the use of kind of standing there while waiting for ambassadors. Like, oh, actually, while we stand here, this is a great opportunity to not have to try to do the difficult animation, or sorry, the difficult action test while walking. But we don't go for it.
Maybe that's just a case of not seeing it. Maybe it's a commitment to just not doing fingerprint. I would have liked to at least see it because it keeps your options open.
Yeah. I mean, even if you decide not to do fingerprint, you should at least try to go for it, just in case something crazy happens later. But there's a wonderful fingerprint opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's not like normally I would say, like, if you don't go for a fingerprint at all, the sniper can't tell whether or not you go for the action test or not. So it's not like he's not more suspicious for picking the briefcase up at all and not going for the fingerprint test. But
Yeah.
he's probably just more concentrated on other things and might not even realize that the option was there, just wasn't looking at it.
In any case, we need 2 more missions and we have just 45 seconds to do them. One of them will probably be Banana Bread. Although the SDA just did leave the conversation with Smallman.
Exactly, and unfortunately, we don't know that. And so, had we banana breaded when we first came in here, it would have been a conversation with Smallman, a pretty good opportunity. But now Smallman is not in a conversation with. But maybe DA, maybe the real DA is going to go join, which would definitely
Maybe. And we're going to chase.
This is a great choice, yeah. Although I don't know about leaving to go do it. I guess it gives us the actual mission and lets us finish with a purloin. Where we can send it. Right, we got a request drink.
Ooh, Smallman was actually sipping during that BB. So if Turnipboy is on this, then he'll know it's Ryooo. Gets a green purloin. Now, how's Ryooo going to react to this pending? Is he just going to
We're going to go for maybe a bug? Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just going to get taken, and overtime's going to come off pretty quickly. It looked like Ryooo was going to try and trigger the mission countdown early with a bug, which is a good idea,
Yeah.
but didn't quite pan out for him.
Yeah, it was such a quick take. The pending barely lasted any time at all. But I completely agree. I think he was going to try to trigger it early. I think he
Yeah.
still probably would have died in that
Yeah.
circumstance, but I think it was a good choice given where he was.
Mhm.
I think it was unfortunate that Smallman was sipping during the
Yeah.
banana bread.
Yeah.
And one more thing to note, Smallman and Seek are the only highlights for Turnipboy that game, so I think he's pretty on top of that early green swap.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know why he didn't go for a BB much sooner in that first conversation.
Yeah. The other thing is
Oh well.
Smallman. I don't think he ever visited statues again, so Smallman couldn't have been
Yeah,
done within
yeah,
swap.
true.
That's one of the advantages of swapping center statue, green swapping center statue, is you not only tag them, you not only have all three statue inspect, so you don't have to ever go back, but the green swap person that you get to come over also is a possible suspect for finishing all their inspects in one. It's a trade-off, of course, but unfortunate. I mean, we do get missions done, and we had a viable other frame target, and if the sniper had missed the green swap for a little bit more, the sniper would have been really far behind.
Yeah.
I had the score wrong. I believe it's 2-0 Turnipboy now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Turnipboy going again as Spy, doing pretty well for himself so far. See how he does now in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
We might be going for an early time ad. Nah, looks like we're just sipping.
Nah.
I,
Windows are a common landing place for spies early while they wait for their ST to figure themselves out.
mhm. I'm wondering if Turnip. So if I was Turnip Boy, the first game, I would have felt like Ryu was kind of trigger happy, and might just go for a generic. Try to BB, get something with a trace off like a swap or purloin, then banana bread, and then just keep other options open.
Mm-hmm. We might see a different kind of game come out from Turnip Boy this time. On doubled maps, it tends to be kind of a good idea to not play the same exact spy game twice in a row for pretty obvious reasons. But we'll see if Turnip Boy decides to go for that same sort of microfilm or bug into a late hard tell that shows.
Ambassador did one of those really rare redirects to like 1 centimeter away at Windows, and I just kind of love seeing those on the huge maps like this, where it just out of random circumstances it chooses out of the, I don't know how many points there are on the map. I'm guessing like thousands. They just redirect right next to where they already were, and
Yeah.
also blocking the briefcase. It was not consequential, but it's just kind of fun to observe.
We did try for a wrong arm there. The AMBA unfortunately walked away right as we were about to do it. It was unseen, so not going to be punished for it that badly. We could get a bug off here standing.
And it
Looks
looks
like we
like
do.
okay. I was thought he was gonna wait just a second more for possible reverse. I mean,
Yeah,
Ambassador could go the other direction, of course, and so it looks like we go for the sure thing.
maybe.
But we're in the bug spot.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like we get highlight for it though.
It was completely unseen on sniper camera. Innocent return, unless we're going to microfilm. We do. It's right in the middle of the screen. Rio's all over it.
Yeah, it's kind of a when there's three people at the bookshelf, and this time it's two pads, so it's probably not a wee moment. When there's this many people at the book pads, it's kind of a high utility play to keep them on screen because one of the three could, do an action test, and it's also the middle of the map, so you're going to be scanning by it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I find
I
it
think
interesting that especially a lot of these challenger players are big into doing the microfilm animation at a bookcase. I don't see them too often doing it somewhere else. You
It
know.
did work for him the first game, and it looked like it was
Yeah.
the same idea. Was before I'm going to go to
Mhm.
statues, I'm going to do the microfilm.
Yeah.
But that is definitely a circumstance where you might not want to do the same thing with book 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Because after getting burned by 2 animations in the first game, Ryu could have looked at the post game log, and try to adjust and correctly adjusted.
Yeah. Another thing is the first game he microfilmed at yellow and blue shelf. This one was at green shelf, a bit more bold, and he gets punished for it.
Yep. There could also be a little bit of laser lag going on.
Maybe.
Ryooo's from France and Turnipboy is in somewhere in America, so there's definitely gonna. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention well enough to see how long the laser was on him, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It can be rough on library especially. All right. Anyway, we're back to general again, but but not as actually nobody had played general, but general was shot by Ryooo in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
But,
And always a good option for a swap block.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yes. Fantastic. We'll see how he does in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
We're over in the corner. We don't go for the statues immediately, which, I mean, seeing general at statues immediately into the game makes me really nervous. So even if he didn't swap, I would just kind
He's
of
going to get
give
credited
him a
with a
hate
swap.
minute. Exactly.
We do.
Oh, we go back to the same spot we started.
Do a strange little maneuver, end up with our ST at the bust, 34%, and we leave first. I always say that last in, first out is kind of suspicious for flirt spots like that, but I don't think we're going to get highlight for it, at least not in Challenger.
Not in Challenger, and maybe not in the first 30 seconds of a game where we're still getting settled as sniper.
Yeah.
Banana bread.
Maybe not in anything below silver, now that I think about
Green
it.
shakes from Ryooo on that banana bread, so it looks like that was a mistake. I had thought that he was banana breading into Purloin to try to draw away suspicion from it, but it looks like it was completely unintentional. That said, not that many lowlights come off from it, so it wasn't that bad for him.
Looks like Turnipboy has about 3 lowlights from that, assuming those are all from the BB. We grab a book, we fingerprint, and we micro, and get shot.
Yeah.
Once again, microfilming at the bookshelf. Like, don't they? You know, you can go somewhere
Yeah.
else with that, right? There's like
Go
plenty.
somewhere
I
else,
know.
or just take it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It did work pretty well the first game, like if you're gonna do it, but
Yeah.
to me it's also something that you mix. To me, doing the action tests on
Yeah.
microfilm is something you mix in to make it. You have to make sure the sniper still guards against
Yeah,
it
I don't
a
know.
little bit, right?
I think maybe
Make
just
him
because
nervous about it.
I think maybe as being brought up on old art where animation microfilm was basically suicide. I'm still
Right.
just sort of like shy about doing it, especially at obvious places.
Yeah. Another thing that's interesting, typically things that players like to do a lot spy side, they'll be good at catching sniper side. So
Yeah.
after seeing Turnipboy transfer or do the animation transfer 2 games in a row, the decision to do it against him, while I kind of like it, it's kind of throwing it back in his face, he's probably going to be guarding it if he did it twice spy side.
Well, the thing that really bothers me with microfilm action tests is I almost never guard it, but it's a threat enough that I can just catch it out of my peripheral
Yeah,
vision if
yeah.
they get it
You
right.
almost, yeah. Even greens for the most part, I barely need to be looking for him to see him.
Right. And then again, you might be right where that's more of a being brought up on old art where you almost never needed to do it. It was so obvious from out of the corner of your eye. If they got a white test, like if they get a green test, you're not sort of looking in the area, maybe they get away with it. But if they have a white test, it is murder.
Yep.
Now also it really does depend on on the spy too.
Yep.
Admirals doesn't have one of the good hats for it. But anyway.
Yep.
So what are we at then?
We are at 3-1 Turnipboy currently, so it's
right.
getting kind of rough for Ryooo here, and we're on to Turnipboy's pick. So rough waters may still be ahead here. See how this goes in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
Going from library to a much smaller venue here, pub.
And so far the games, okay, so the first, as far as where the players might be mentally, the first game was a pretty strong win by Turnipboy, because it's not only did Turnipboy have all the missions done, but Ryooo also took a wrong shot, and that's a pretty powerful. That's a position. That's like basically the worst position you can be in as sniper. Is figured out that not only did you shoot wrong, but the person that you did not have any suspicion on also was going to win. But then, other than that, the games have been kind of just all right, you die kind of games. I think they've been all sniper wins since then, right?
Yeah.
So it's just been a lot of microfilm stuff. So I don't know where they're going to be at mentally, because I don't. It's the snipers have been taking comfortable shots, and the spies might just be kicking themselves for a little bit of possibly bad decision making, or a little bit aggressive decision making, I should say.
Hmm. And all of those pretty confident shots, sniper side.
Right.
2 of them were for microfilm animations. You see that, you're going to take a shot. One of them, he had a green swap down to 2 suspects for the entirety of the game and was just waiting for a finish.
Mm-hmm. We don't get the difficult fingerprint on the drink, unfortunately, but we still have 51% on the flirt, so we're going to hopefully try to finish that up right here. We have a delegate option. I'm not sure. I'm curious if we're actually going to try to send it soon. Where's the real DA? Oh, there it is. Okay, so maybe we try to pop over for a banana bread while this is going on. The delegate timer's got to be pretty close to timing out, so I don't think we're going to delegate.
Banana bread.
Fake banana bread comes off.
Oh, here we go. We took a little bit of extra time on the stop talk. So if Ryu was looking closely enough, you could definitely see that Alice was talking and then did an immediate stop talk, which would be very suspicious, obviously, for sending someone to the drink.
Yep. It's the classic delegate stop talk gulp combo. Looks like it might work. Turnipboy actually hiding kind of in that spot behind the door frame as the delegate comes off. And gets shot anyway. Ryo's all over
Yeah,
it.
looks like he was paying attention. Let's see. Did that happen right as the?
Turnipboy did step into statues as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
no,
You
for
could see.
sure it was a combination of things, right? Because technically he can't be sure it wasn't Rocker, right?
Yeah.
But at that point, there was a delegate. We're also in kind of the front conversation circle, so we might have actually been paired a little bit. And it took us a second to shoot Alice when we went to the statue. It wasn't like step in the statue, instant shot. So Ryooo was debating a little bit.
Yeah,
so
there must
it was
have
a
been a
less
little.
comfortable shot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Turnipboy didn't have banana bread there, but depending on how closely Ryooo was watching, he very well could have credited Alice with banana bread, so that's a good shot timing from him.
Right. All right.
All right. Anyway, on to the next one. So Ryooo brings it to within 1. So another win, spy win here. Well, we'll tie it up if you can do it in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
One of the least bad maps to be orange dress on, particularly with bug. Orange dress is almost good on this map, I would say, because orange dress can go for the door and get a pretty good walking bug where ambassador is actually walking against her, and she can still get it off sometimes.
Yeah. The one downside is if you're coming from the bar or something and your ST is on that far outside conversation, then it can be a bit of a hike to get over there.
And our ST is taking a bit of time to decide where they want to land. And unfortunately, we've kind of committed to this conversation circle. We'll probably dish it pretty soon, unless we want to fake. But it would actually be a terrible time to fake, as it turns out, because there's no SDAs at all in conversations. Looks like we're chasing.
Yeah. If he bounces back outside now, we are very sad.
Our ST has been very indecisive. This is actually a good play. Now we don't actually hit the pad, but it's not going to get noticed. This was a good decision where we go to a pad so we have an excuse to redirect. I like that.
Mm-hmm. We finally step in for our first flirt about a minute and a half into the game.
I was kind of hoping for a red test on that, to be totally honest.
At that point, I think Ryooo just BBs inspect swaps and get shot. Real banana bread comes off. A pretty
Banana bread.
good banana bread for pub.
Yeah, not bad at all. Unfortunately, the middle conversation circle doesn't have any SDA in it. But right now, Turnipboy is not crediting them with the fake, or sorry,
Yep.
crediting it as certainly real. So that conversation is not getting lowlights, and in particular, that's important because Seek is still going to be remaining a highlight. And all right now, we're super focused on the right side of the map because all of the left side of the map is low lights right now, except for white inside.
We do go for a bug there.
That was
Oh,
a
nice.
very visible bug.
Yeah. I didn't really think that the pathing was going to facilitate that bug either.
Yeah, well, it apparently did not.
Yep. Turnipboy agrees, I guess.
Yeah, so if Ambassador had followed us, for example, it wouldn't have been that bad if they were going to the left side of the map. But unfortunately, Taft is a very quick ambassador, and Taft was going for the statue. That was unfortunate because if we didn't go for the bug there, which I don't necessarily think was a bad idea, but if we didn't go for the bug there, there was going to be a fingerprint on that statue, and someone who was going to go pick that up was going to get a ton of suspicion.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a good idea from Ryooo, though. You're very behind on missions. You need to get something.
I also think it was planned too. I think we were planning on doing a bug like that. Like we were talking about before, Orange Dress opens up bug opportunities that would otherwise not be there, including the walking reverse drive-by bug.
Yeah. Where the Amba kind of just slides on by you.
Exactly. And this map is really narrow, and so you can actually get away with that. I like the idea a lot. Unfortunately, Ambassador was not going to the right spot to cover the arm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and unfortunately, with that, Turnipboy is up 2 again. Ryo's gonna have to do some good old comebacks here.
Mm-hmm.
And see if he can do this in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah.
Quick little redirect, probably not going to get noticed, but this is actually a pretty decent little start.
Yeah.
And we're going to be the second to leave, too. We're not going to chase, which is probably a good idea.
Yeah. In the early time of the game, you're not going to notice who got to that pad first or second. And I don't think you're going to really pair those two.
One thing about challengers, though, is I really think they should start choosing ambassador. Boots is terrible ambassador. Like I like Boots as a There's definitely arguments to be made versus of speed, wanting a large person, right? Large model.
Yeah.
Like Taft, for example, is a fast large model. Queen is a large slow model. But man, she's just so slender.
I think the fingerprint that we picked up at the far conversation was pretty much unseen. We did the cheeky pick up the briefcase fingerprint, put it right down without moving.
So
and getting getting our second one from a statue. So all of our suspicious stuff is done at this point.
Right.
We just need 2 more flirts, and I would assume a banana bread is how Turnipboy wants to finish this game. But there's certainly
we're gonna want to stay away from Ambassador too, because we don't even want. We're gonna end with a suspicious highlight almost certainly, but we don't want Ryooo to think that we've done a bug, for example, because I don't think Ryooo knows we're done with fingerprint.
Yeah.
Banana bread.
What's funny is now actually having Boots as ambassador might be good because Ryooo might be pretty confident that bug has not happened because it's not as suspicious.
Takes a shot on Turnipboy.
Wow. Maybe we. The thing is, okay, that's interesting to me. So I'm guessing Ryooo must
probably saw the
banana
first
bread.
fingerprint.
Yeah, that or just allowed that a fingerprint had occurred that they didn't see, right? Like they just had acknowledged that okay, they might have been able to slip another fingerprint past me. If they saw the first one, it feels like they should have just gotten shot regardless. I don't. Well, actually, no. They picked it up when there's the statue. Okay, so
Interesting thing to note. The highlight kind of comes off after Ryooo sees Salmon pick up the briefcase and start walking. So maybe he just wasn't sure what an AI would do in Turnipboy's situation, and maybe thought that that behavior was okay, but then seeing Salmon return it made him suspicious of Turnipboy.
right. And I do think that the actual rule would be that Turnip Boy would had to have walked a little bit to get into the radius to put it down.
Yeah.
I haven't. It's been a while since I've read Yerin's or Yisha's. I think it's Yerin's.
Yeren.
Yeah, his briefcase guide, which is
That's
excellent.
okay. Nobody really knows how the briefcase works. So
Yeah.
generally fine, I'd say, most of the time. I mean, I don't even know if Isha's thing is 100% accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always kind of weird. It's basically as mysterious as the briefcase that inspired it in Pulp Fiction.
Right. Anyway, on to we got this is a final pub game, and
Yep.
Ryu's within one again.
Yeah, and I note that we're a slow character again.
Yep.
And we have Taft again.
Huh.
I'm like it. I don't mind it. I think Ryu likes the option of having this play.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. Although I mean it might even be better if we had a slow ambassador too.
Right. Yeah, they have to be a little bit faster than us. So it's hard to say. Like, because Queen is a little bit.
Yeah.
Queen is slow, but I mean,
I mean-
because we need them to be a little bit quick so we can start it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like Irish might be really good at
Yeah.
it.
Maybe
Trying to think of a
General.
medium speed character.
Yeah.
General.
General
that's a good
might
one.
be.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, hopefully it'll work out better for him this time. Let's see. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, I'm really curious how Turnip Boy. Oh, we go for it immediately. All right.
I don't think it was seen. Hopefully not. No.
I don't
Okay.
think so either. But Turnip Boy had like there was alarms going off like immediately where we saw the positioning of Ambassador into the time of chaos, and we were so
Yeah.
focused in on it.
He was double zoomed in down that corridor.
And that's the thing is on pub, you don't need to guard anything else in the first few seconds of the game. It's really hard to get an immediate swap off. I mean, maybe time ad is the only other threat. You're not going to get an immediate purloin. So basically,
I mean, you can.
Turnip Boy did the right. That's
It's
true.
gonna get you shot.
You can. It's
most of the time.
difficult. Right. It's so hard to do anything really quickly on this map except bug that snipers kind of quickly learn that, okay, I just need to make sure I guard Ambassador in the first 10 seconds really hard, and then I can start looking around for this stuff.
Yeah. Ooh, really
Yeah.
nice stop from Ryooo there.
I don't think we're gonna get anything from it, but yeah, it was a good play for a possible low light, which is really really strong on pub because low lights tend to be pretty sticky on pub.
Uh-huh. There's not much you can do. Oh, we begin a bug there hoping that the Amba's going to walk behind us, but they choose to go to the other side of the conversation. That one was a bit more in your face than the early bug, but once again, I don't think it was seen.
It's a little bit hard to tell when if they're seen or not on this one, because one of the things you don't want to do is if you're unsure about the bug once it goes off, you don't immediately highlight the person. You make a mental note of it. So it is possible. I think you're right. I think that it wasn't seen, but it's also possible that Turnip Boy saw it and just doesn't want to acknowledge to Ryu that they did see it.
Yeah. At this point, I don't think Ryooo can reasonably finish missions for this game. He's fishing for a low light. He banana breads and then goes straight for the briefcase, maybe trying to get credited with doing briefcase during the BB, but doesn't get low lit for it.
I'm actually kind of tired of seeing the sip breaks. Like, we don't have to do it every time. It's almost highlight worthy at this point. Everybody loves doing the sip break after a briefcase. It doesn't happen every time. I might actually start doing that because I'll probably lose a bunch of games, but the games that I win will feel so good if I shoot for that.
Yeah, that's a creative highlighting strategy. Something that I don't usually participate in. I just highlight for statues, but I mean, if you want to, go for it. We'll see how your win rate works out.
Well, the thing is, it's just like the thing is, you'll get every once in a while you'll get AI, but
Ooh.
I think that's it's not spies valued a little too much.
I think we're gonna
Okay,
frame for
we're gonna go.
a green swap.
Yep.
I think he was looking at the animation, but he has to make a decision, and he shoots Ryooo.
Interesting. Hey, that was a good play though. Like out of the decisions that we had, we happened to do it to someone who was not knocked out by banana bread, which I'm assuming that Ryu knew. And we make a good last second play, and we also put them in a terrible spot that it happens around like what 15 16 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing, I mean, I would sort of, probably say is, would probably went into Turnipboy thinking is that Ryooo was already going for the statue before it was put down, which is pretty unlikely for a green swapper.
That is very true. You're right. There was not a
Yeah.
call at that point.
Yeah.
It would have had to have been like random chance.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen. I mean, it certainly does happen. I mean, it can even be like a, random cast member doing it and then, delaying the green swap. But yeah, usually it would be after he puts it down, then, then it gets called. But
Yeah.
that would be harder. That would actually have unfortunately not worked either because overtime would have triggered. If he had done that any later.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is in a tough spot because you're right. If he had waited, let's say he went to window instead and then faked the call, the swap probably would have gone off where Ryu or Turnipboy would have been comfortable waiting for overtime, and instead we try to kind of rush into it, and it looks like it did cause some consternation.
Yeah, he did. He was looking
Uh-huh.
around. I think he just decided that.
And I mean, in terms of late game pub stuff, I like. There's not too much you can do to force a shot. BB's already come off. I like green framing late on pub because that mean like swap is a desperate attempt to finish missions on pub. So you see a lot of late swaps happening on pub. So it's reasonable to assume that someone might try for that green swap.
Also interesting to note, if we had seduction done, we would have won that game because the shot didn't come off until a full 10 seconds after the statue was swapped. So if that had been our fourth mission, it would have been shot too late to sink.
Yeah, possibly. Man, who knew so much analysis would go into a front statue swap on pub?
Yep. You guys are just
what
delaying
is
it so that you don't have to. Cast.
What has Watermeat done
You guys
to us?
just don't want to cast gallery, huh?
Yeah,
I love this map. Don't put words in my mouth.
It's like, all right, I guess maybe there'll be a bug at the paintings. All right, there it is. Maybe we'll be all right. First of all, we're doing cheating. All right, we're not doing cheat mode. We're being a fair character, though Smallman is on the map, and pretty quick character too. A decent character pick, and we also pick a medium speed, large-ish ambassador. I'm curious if we'll actually try to go for like an actual bug.
Maybe.
Also, I love Taft on this map because if you are standing at the standing at the paintings, and you do that reverse bug, his own model blocks.
Yeah, it's really great.
All right. Anyway,
good for swap blocks also. And he's fast.
Oh man, I think we'll see a bug coming off right now, and the time
that would be
is
so greedy. I hope not. Actually,
I mean, I don't know if you. I mean, you're the expert in reading the starting position.
Oh yeah,
I mean, the fact that
what we got here?
The fact that he's facing away from the ambassador is maybe telling.
No bug. No
bug. And then the DAs, there's not too much. This is an unclear reading. Where is SDA? SDA is in the back. We're kind of distant from our SDA. A lot of walking to our SDA, which is good. We have a slow I keep saying SDA. ST. We have a slow ST though, which is gonna be problem on this map. Anyway.
All right. Anyway, we'll see if any of that ends up being true in 3, 2, 1. Planet.
The slow ST is less of an astrology reading and more of a practical problem that we're going to have in this game.
We do try for the bug, but we are Taft
Yep.
and we are in front of our Amba, so...
Right. We thought about joining. Oh wait.
Oh,
yeah, we're so
what?
dead. Yeah, we're so dead. All right.
Well, okay, so you were right about that. Bug was a bad idea.
Yeah.
If he had
So
just waited a bit longer until he
yes,
was on the
exactly.
other side.
So normally, just to level set with people that maybe haven't played Gallery that much. Normally, when we talk about painting bugs, reverse bugs on Gallery, we're talking about the other side of the map. We're talking about the ones with the larger paintings of the three large paintings. And the other problem is when we do this reverse bug, it's our arm is facing the sniper at that point, and that is it's really obvious against Taft's. That's like the bad part of Taft's model, is that it's a white, pretty bright hand framed against a brown background where you can clearly see the movement of the arm.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have a drink in the other, or sorry, we have
Everything's working against us there.
yes. And as Kletos and Nanthalus mentioned, if we had waited a second more, we could have gotten a better bug as we exited, or just gone for. Sorry, we not even have to exit. We would have just stuck our arm out, where that would have been really hard to see if we just waited a few more seconds and the other arm had been the one that bugged. Although it would have been watched pretty closely, maybe a little bit would have been seen, but yeah.
In any case, some questionable decision making from Turnipboy leads to a win for Ryooo, so he's within one again.
Yeah, and I think that was all instinct,
Yeah.
because it's usually such a great decision on Gallery to bug. But I think that we were just going for it. And the other thing about one more thing about this bug, about bug in general on Gallery, is it's if you have a lot of time left, you really don't need to force bug on Gallery. There will be
It'll
other
come to
good
you.
bug opportunities. Exactly. It's not the kind of map where if you don't, like, for example, Courtyard might be a good example, or if you have a good bug opportunity right at the start, you just kind of go for it, because it's going to be a lot tougher to find that really good opportunity. At Gallery, because of the motion of the map, where Ambassador moves around all the time, because the conversation circles will almost always force them outside. There almost always will be someone invading their space. They'll always be moving up and down the map. They don't really have a place they can hang out for very long, and they're just constantly in motion, and you can set up for one.
All right. Anyway, we're on to the next one. This time, the spy and ambassador are facing each other more or less, so it's a little bit more promising. I feel like, I mean, and honestly, this is probably better area for Time of Chaos bug. So we'll see how it goes. And double agents nearby as well, near a conversation. So I'm
And
seeing,
ST
I'm getting
is
good,
small
I'm
men.
getting good vibes from this starting.
Good
So
vibes.
we'll see.
Yeah.
See how it goes in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Also, importantly to note that in the last game, we started outside with the ambassador, and those are the only cast members. Were us and ambassador outside. There were guests outside, but no other cast members. And then it was us it was us that were paired up to death. And then the other interesting thing about this is having Smallman, and Smallman's in the suspicious spot too right now.
Ooh.
And goes right for a book. Ooh. I'm really curious if how much we're paying attention to the actions of Smallman for a frame. Because right now, the fact that Smallman's an ST makes me think we're really conscious of it. Because we can also watch where it is that red arrow is going to do a lot of work for us this game. We
Banana
might kind of
bread.
track where they're going. Up, no, we don't care. Never mind.
That's not. That's. Oh! Oh!
We get the low light.
We got highlight in that conversation, I think, because Turnipboy didn't know where a book came from. Oh no!
Wait.
we're getting shot.
All right. So what happens? Okay. All right.
That was a roller coaster of emotions.
I'm super confused
man.
about. Okay. All right. So we have Green Book, and
Banana
we
bread.
go and ditch it. And we're initially credited with not being in the conversation circle. It looks like when we kind of bail over for the microfilm, and then I guess Turnipboy somehow recollects that Plain Twin had been at the other bookcase. That was a really. I'm surprised that they were able to bring that mistake back.
Oh, you know what it might have been? It might have been book etiquette as well.
Oh, that would be so sad.
Didn't wait too long at the shelf before dumping it, maybe?
Yeah,
Let's
I mean,
see.
I feel like.
I don't know.
It is. His head is turned a little bit when he puts it back, but that would be so hard to see when he's low lit.
Yeah.
It's gotta be that he remembered at the other
Yeah.
bookcase. I mean, we also did. Did we try to flirt before? No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, I don't know. He must have just put it back together that
Yeah.
that plane had been at the other one. That was a
Turnipboy's
that's
saying
a
in
great
chat
shot.
that he mislow lit him. That's hard to say.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. Anyway, that's unfortunate. At least for Ryooo. Now down 2 again. This has been a kind of up and down
Yeah.
match. Ryoo's been like behind by 1 and then 2 each every other game now, mainly just because it's been a sniper party most
Right.
part.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if either one of these can break this sniper party spell. In 3, 2, 1, planet.
On Modern.
Are we
Definitely
gonna try to
sniper
force this
favorite
bug?
map.
It does not look like we're gonna try to force that bug, which is good. I think that would have been pretty suspicious.
Yeah.
We're gonna
But
be
Darren's
at this counter for a while.
We don't want to waste that much time on this map.
Right. All right. Well, we get the flirt, so it's not a total waste of time to be here. But oh, interesting. We have a reject from Pop Danger.
Yeah.
So we're not going to waste too much time here. And then I guess Papa Danger does go really far away, so the timer flirt will be basically done. We get a low light. Interesting.
Huh.
That's got to be some sort of behavioral thing where maybe Ryooo has watched Turnipboy's game. Maybe they generally don't go for quick
A
purloins.
lot of lowlights coming off. 5 lowlights. 6.
Interesting. I've got to imagine these are very fluid then. If we're being this liberal with the lowlights early on, I can't imagine that these are going to stick that much.
I would hope not, because our spy is low lit.
All right, hot from the chat. Apparently, Ryooo phantom to swap. That's what these low lights are for.
Okay. Interesting.
That's pretty unfortunate.
So these are pretty hard lowlights then, because we're not lowlighting everybody, and that means that we're only lowlighting the people we're sure weren't at statues, and that's why we got lowlit at the counter, right? So everybody that couldn't have gone to statues and then to the counter got lowlit.
Yep.
So now the problem is it's still modern. We don't know that we're lowlit, so we still have to finish missions.
Yeah, but after you phantom a swap and purloin has come off, I think it's going to be hard sniper side to hold a shot.
True.
Especially since Boots, who it looks like is highlight potentially for the swap, goes to get a second statue visit. Now maybe she never visited the bar in between. Seeing this purloin is Ryoo's chance to get back in this game and kind of think, oh, maybe the swap didn't happen because none of my potential swappers went to the bar, so and so. But it doesn't look like he's going to bring back any of his lights.
Yeah, what's interesting is there could have potentially been a play where, oh, you get highlight. Okay, so maybe, and this might be what I was going to talk about is, if you phantom swap and then you see the purloin and then you're like, wait, that couldn't have happened because nobody went to statues and then purloin, and then all the lowlights were at bar. We're like, wait, all those people that were before were not suspects are suspects.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if something's occurred now.
Pearls was also at the bar, so looks like we're not just bringing back people who are at the bar. Looks like we are, as they do suspicious things, we are kind of ditching our low light on them. Us and Smallman are the only highlights who can have a banana bread, or a real banana bread. And who?
Boots is in a conversation with us.
Oh, I didn't even see her behind our model.
Yeah, I know, right?
We get brought down to a neutral light, which is interesting.
So we're not gonna think that the swap could happen here. Well, actually, maybe Ryooo is reconsidering because his positioning.
Oh, safety off. It's a difficult fingerprint.
Fingerprint failed, so are we just gonna go for the swap block?
We are gonna swap.
Okay. Okay. So, all right, is he gonna walk away?
No,
he's
you're
ready?
thinking of shooting him. Look at the
He's not
statue.
gonna see him. Oh,
No. Oh no.
Okay, so that's really fascinating. So he wasn't worried about the swap at all because if he phantomed the swap and I guess didn't second guess it. So I guess he's not concerned about seeing the fact that it got swapped because he thinks the swap has occurred, and he was mostly concerned about the fingerprint, I guess, that was still remaining on it, and so he was thinking about whether or not to shoot for that fingerprint. But had Ryu looked a little bit more closely and saw when General walked away that the statue had changed, there would have been a moment of confusion, but we had a chance at shooting.
Ah, that's gotta hurt. I think you still have to check for a swap there, even with the early suspicion, because halfway through the game you're kind of, I don't know. You notice something just feels off and you're like, did the swap actually happen?
It's hard. It's hard to question yourself at that point,
Mhm.
especially when that spot already had a lot of suspicion on it for the fingerprint and the fact that it would have been a second set of statues. Um, it's interesting. No, I guess there was enough. Let's say that Banana Bread had knocked out Boots and Smallman, for example. It looks like there was enough other suspicious targets going around that we were more concerned with that. Although basically, it looks like General was the only one that could have threatened being done out of all the highlights. Because honestly, Smallman did nothing that game.
Yeah.
And so Smallman did nothing, and then Boots sat in that conversation circle the entire rest of the time. And so we would have been relying on a timeout. But the other thing is we had nothing to lose by basically just watching General, except I guess for the possible bug that Smallman could have gone for because Ambassador's moving. Tough game though. If
Yeah.
we needed sometimes I think it's one of Track's big things is knowing what you don't know, or basically knowing what could have plausibly gotten by you and allowing for you to have made a mistake.
Hmm. You can see him. He's really thinking about that shot late game, but he just can't quite take it. I think
Yeah.
if he hadn't phantom a swap, that would have been Rio's game
Yep. I completely agree.
for
And
sure.
we also step into General ourselves.
Yeah, General returns.
Yeah,
This
General is
time for the other side.
Ryu
Yeah.
just in general.
Yeah. I mean, it's a generally a
David-
good character to beat.
Yeah, but we took the wrong shot on General on I think the first game
Yeah,
on
and
Library.
they played
and,
General as their second pick on Library. So General's been getting around this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
He's
might
also
actually be
the
one of the
spy
reasons.
last game for Modern.
Right.
Yep.
Last time we shot General when we weren't sure, we lost, and this time we wanted to shoot General and didn't, and we lost.
And we lost.
Yep. I'm actually holding a model of General in my hand right now.
Oh, those look so good. I want to see more of them.
Yep, and we'll see how he does this time in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Interesting stat is that Ryo has timed out 0 games this season on spy side.
Interesting.
I mean, we'll see if he can keep it up on Modern, but I think he's picked Modern 4 times, so this is a map that he is definitely comfortable finishing missions on.
So this is an interesting spot to start in. So we don't seem to get any suspicion for the possible bug. We might grab this briefcase, right? Because we're right here, and it's not going to be a suspicious briefcase. So this was a really interesting suspicious, not suspicious play. Because we couldn't have gone the fingerprint on the book, and as long as we don't pick up suspicion for the possible bug at bookcase, it looks completely reasonable for us to get that briefcase, and we're not even getting suspicion for it. At least not a highlight suspicion.
Boots now smudging that print on red shelf. So maybe if we want to try for a difficult fingerprint, we can go back there.
And Ambassador is also going to be at green. So we have a lot of possible fingerprint.
And
Teal
grabbing the print off the left statue over there as well. So a lot of people are grabbing prints early game. That may kind of draw Turnipboy's attention a bit, especially with a lot of people going to the bar. Now might be a good time for a purloin.
it looks like we're committing to timer flirt, but we get burned by seduction target. So that was a lot of time that we spent here doing one flirt. But like you
And-
say, Ryooo is comfortable with putting a lot of missions together at the end of the game, it seems. So we're not too concerned. Looks like we'll just pick up at least one inspect here, and
Yeah.
probably get two now.
You can't really flirt because your seduction target's moving around. You're waiting for the Amba to touch a few more things, maybe trying to spread your prints out a bit. So what else do? You go to statues, pick up another half of the mission.
So we'll probably go for a seduce here, and then we have the option of the green bookcase fingerprint coming up. Teal, by the way, going back to the exact same statue they did before. I'm curious if she's going to get a low light. I can't
He's rotating
if...
to check for the swap. Hasn't come off, or maybe the list. Either one.
That's true. And I can't tell if Papa Danger smudged green bookcase or not, or if they already had a book before. So it looks like we are possible. Like, we might be stepping the statue. No, we are going to go for the fingerprint. I don't know if this is difficult or not at this point. Nope.
Easy. Okay. We are short on time, and we're not even guaranteed the 3 flirt. So yeah, he pulls out the book. I think he's looking for a micro with this one.
At least having the option. So we have the option. So we want a banana bread. We would love to be able to finish with flirt, depending on how
Banana
cooperative
bread.
our seduction target is.
Yeah. It's
and
gonna
not
be
very. Wait, nope. Okay, seduction target is gonna be in there.
all right. We need to green test this. We need to green test. If we don't, we need to time add. Oh, we got it.
All right.
So
let's see. This is. I mean, we have
this
to.
is the
We have to
moment of
inspect
truth.
after this too.
Yeah, there are 2 moments of truth coming up, I guess. The micro is going to come off clean, it looks like. We're waiting a bit.
Oh no.
Never mind.
I guess. All right. So actually, in this circumstance, I understand holding the shot. So normally, when somebody approaches the microfilm, you're right that we basically shoot, right? Because they're gonna put that book back, or they're gonna break etiquette and not put the book back. In which case, they'd be the spy anyway. But it looks like Turnipboy was waiting to see if they'd be able to force an overtime before shooting. So let's say they'd spent a full cycle, another cycle reading, they would have been able to have certainty. But when we put the bookcase, we wouldn't have gotten overtime.
Yeah.
So
I believe I did that in one of my matches in the previous season, where I just said to myself, if it's put back before the 10-second timer starts, then I'm shooting. And if it's afterwards, then you wait. Those are sort of the decisions you have to make. Yeah, but it's a very, very, very smart one.
So that's a sweep on Madarin for Turnipboy.
Yeah, and actually, I guess that technically gives. Does that give? Oh wait, do they have a tiebreaker in this, or is it just?
They do. It's
Okay.
not higher seed wins.
Okay, that's. Oh yeah, that's like. It's the
So there is
it's
one-
one picks, the other cuts sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or one cuts, the other picks, whatever. Yep. But not quite as cool as it was last season. Anyway, then
So a
Ryooo still has a
possible.
chance. Huh?
A comeback is possible.
Yeah,
for
it is
Ryooo.
indeed possible. And this is Ryoo's pick, so we'll see. Maybe he has some secret strats been saving till this moment. All right, we'll see how this goes. We got Mom, also known as Crazy Eyes or Teo Dress, going for first time today as Spy. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Also, Pearl's light. She has a few pearls. She has pearl earrings and a slighter pearl necklace, I believe. Okay. And maybe pearls in her drink. Just some brown pearls with a toothpick through them. I don't know.
I mean, there's no liquid in there anyway.
All right, so we're probably not going to banana bread. But section target does join us. This is great. Although it's going to look like we seduced. Okay, so first of all, Small Man is in General's abdomen. Yeah, you guys ever seen Total Recall? Feeling a little bit of that right now.
Oh, wow. I didn't even see him at first.
Right.
General's just blocking all sorts of characters today. The far green is better than a far white, but worse than a close white, 29%. So we are going to need a green test if we want a 2-flirt.
All right. Well, there's not too much going on in these conversations right now. I don't want us to hang out in this conversation for very long and then talk because it'll look like we're flirting general. We're probably gonna bail after this sip though.
Oh,
No, I guess not.
choose
Oh
not
no,
to.
double agent. This is actually probably good. Red. Once Smallman comes in.
There's an offer from Toby, and we're going to take an innocent drink.
We're burning.
Oh, we
Interesting.
leave. That's pretty much the best BB you're going to get. He probably wants to wait for Rocker, actually, because Rocker has visited center statues. So knocking her out would be a bad decision.
True, and we do know. Well, okay, because so Queen's out, and we don't really care.
Banana bread.
Oh, but wait.
Wait,
Is
Alice
that gonna?
Alice was in for that, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that was
So-
exactly what I was gonna ask. Is
Oh, and
Hey,
the shot
yeah,
comes
wow,
off.
We did it. Wow, great work.
That was really good decision making from Turnipboy there. Notices that Rocker visits center statues, and even though he has a near perfect BB on high rise, he chooses to take a slightly worse one just to ensure that top suspect is in with an SDA.
Yeah, looks Rocker do much else besides the meta statue. Looks like I think a briefcase return or a briefcase attempt, which good enough for a fingerprint.
I'm curious if it's funny because if Rocker had greened the banana bread,
And a
it would have
second
been like a
briefcase
weird
pickup,
spot
but that
where
one had no fingerprint. I don't.
had Rocker greened that banana bread, which we should have had to because she wasn't talking to the banana bread. She would have started when I think Alice would have been out of the conversation.
Banana bread.
The Alice thing with the Alice leaving that conversation might have totally screwed our game plan, but we're so fortunate that Alice decides to redirect into that conversation.
Yep.
Banana bread.
Right, that's it. Looks
Yeah,
like.
that's it. Yeah, that's it for that.
That's
that
all
match.
she wrote.
Yep, those little details about where a DA would have been when a BB started is one of those things you don't always think about when you're tunneling on somebody.
So Turnipboy takes it, and if Ryooo wants revenge on Turnipboy, Turnipboy has to win. Looks like 2 matches, and Ryooo would have to win 2 matches in the Summer Cup. So it's totally possible that there's a rematch coming their way. However, that said, Ryooo would have to beat Yerend, and Turnipboy would have to beat Giatti, and presumably Yishir RX, which would be tough.
Yep. All right. Anyway, we've got the next